Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very next episode of Pristine Peninsula. I am your host, Fizz Williams, and today we are just recording in our usual on TV recording studio. We wanted to do a special holiday episode for St. Patrick's Day, so out of the kindness of my heart, and after offering them free pizza and $250 a piece to be on, I convinced three people that are somehow connected to St. Patrick's Day to be on the show. Our very first guest today is Miss Beatrice McMurphy. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I am on a mission this year, being uh, a leap year and an election year and a pivotal birthday for me this year. I am going to catch my first leprechaun.
Oh, wow. That's pretty exciting. Now, do you publicly say your age? Well, I was going to ask you what the important
Oh,
birthday
I
is.
will forever be 29.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So yes,
Great.
yes.
Okay. And our next person, Mr. or I should say, Professor Oliver Oxenfree. Is that correct?
Yes, Fitz, that's correct. Professor Lovell Oxenfree.
Okay. And where are you a professor at?
Professor of History, Wayne State University.
Okay, so are you originally from here? Because I detect a little bit of an accent.
Oh,
Or
I've lived in the States for a while, but I'm not originally from the States.
where are you from?
I'm from Liverpool.
I knew four young lads from that beautiful, ugly industrial city.
I can't say I've ever met them.
No, half of them are dead now, but you may have heard of their music. They're pretty popular. Our last person, Miss is that Marcine?
Yeah, but you can call me Marcy for short.
How is Marcy shorter than Marcine? They're both two syllables.
It's less letters.
Touche.
Depends on how you look at it, I guess,
Half
short wise.
glass empty, whatever, glass full, however that goes. And your last name, O'Malley.
Yeah, yep.
All right, and you were the one person who I sent the invite out to, who I didn't. I found the most Irish sounding name in the on Wikipedia, and then your
On
name popped up.
Wikipedia, no less.
Yeah. So why would you like to be on the show? Why are you on the show today?
Well, I'm on the show to, talk about my restaurant that I'm a part owner of called O'Malley's Eatorium in Kego Harbor, but also just to, talk about St. Patrick's Day, the best holiday.
Why do you consider it the best? Is it because you can get the Shamrock Shakes at McDonald's or?
Mhm.
Shamrock Shakes, my favorite color is green. My favorite foliage is shamrocks.
Wait, are shamrocks? I thought shamrocks were actual rocks that were from Ireland. Have I gone my whole life believing a lie?
I think you're a bit mistaken, Fizz.
It's actually a common misconception. The clover is the shape that traditionally is called a shamrock. A
Mm.
shamrock is, of course, a fort of stone.
I just
I
thought.
did not know that.
Wait,
Yes, it's a common
Oh.
misconception.
is a shamrock
Yeah.
the same thing as a three-leaf clover?
No, the clover is an entirely different symbology. It's been mixed together. You Americans like just shiny green things,
So,
so you tend to slap them on walls.
so how do they make a shamrock shake?
They
Oh,
just
boy.
take, I think it's some mint or something, and some ice cream.
No,
There's no
no,
shamrocks involved at all.
I know, but why do they call it a shamrock shake?
Well, because McDonald's thinks you Americans are pretty simple and will go for it because it sounds very Irish.
Why
Oh,
why don't they just call it green mint shake?
or clover shake.
Because then they'd have to sell it year round, and people wouldn't.
Less
Otherwise,
festive.
get it.
sounding.
Yeah, okay. Kind of like pumpkin spice garbage stuff in the fall. Yeah.
I like the
I
smell.
don't take this personally, but I've noticed you Americans love your little holiday themed gimmicks.
We do.
It's very common. Your green beer in your river. It's very strange.
That part is strange.
I'm
Yeah, I'll
in
admit.
Chicago. That's
I've been to Ireland many times, and they don't dye the rivers.
I think it's the same thing with Cinco de Mayo here. That's not really a real holiday in Mexico, and they look at us and like, what are you guys doing? I assume that's similar.
It's speculation on my part, but I think you Americans just like excuses to drink lots of alcohol.
And where do we get that from?
I suppose, we have enjoyed a pint here and there throughout our history.
Yeah, just here and
but
there.
I would suggest you Americans do it to excess.
Mm.
that is true. All right, let's go back to Miss McMurphy. And have you tried to find a pot of gold in the past, or is this your very first time trying?
It is my first time trying.
Okay.
I am really excited. I have just found out that I'm going to be a grandmother to twins this
Oh,
year.
wow.
And
Oh,
I've decided,
Congratulations.
Yes,
thank you very
congrats.
much. And I've decided that I want to, you know, just give something a little extra to my children and maybe put something away. And yeah, I think I have this spirit in me that I think I can capture one in the most humane way possible.
Yeah.
And I think it will be beneficial to both my family and to the leprechaun as well.
Okay. So, wait, how would it be beneficial for the leprechaun? I don't know if
Well,
I follow.
the bait that I'm planning to use in my trap is, and they love the sparkly, glitzy things. I have a custom made. It is a custom made tree throne. So it's what is that called? I don't know why I've forgotten this. It's the sheets of gold that you rub on. What is that
Oh,
called?
yeah.
A water slide.
Well, I don't rub a water slide. I slide down a you know what I'm talking
I
about.
know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know
can't
why
think
I've
either.
lost the word. Anyway, so I have carved this tree stump throne myself. I've chopped it down out of my backyard, and I have put this gold foil on it, hand rubbed, and etched it perfect for any leprechaun. And I know that he will be so entranced by it, and so entranced because leprechauns, of course, they have high egos, large egos, and I think that that would suit his way of life perfectly.
Okay, I like that. Now, it's 2020. Do they still like being called leprechauns?
I have not heard any other thing. I suppose a little Irish person,
Because I saw an interview with Peter Dinklage, and
but is he a leprechaun?
well,
Do
there.
you know something I don't?
Well, actually, it wasn't an interview. I made a mistake. It was a documentary about this elf that left the North Pole, and he called Peter Dinklage an elf. I misspoke. I meant elf,
You
not
meant
leprechaun.
elf, not
Yeah,
leprechaun.
yeah.
But I could
He
see
got mad.
I could see how you might
Yeah.
mix that up.
Sure.
So
Sure. And Professor Oxenfree, or do you prefer Ali or
Please do not call me Ollie Oxenfree. It is not appreciated.
Why? Why would that be? I don't get it.
I don't know if you have it in the States, but in Britain there's a little children's game about Ollie Oxenfree. It's a whole thing. Please, it's very traumatic for me to hear that. So please, if you'd be so kind as to not ever say that again, I would appreciate it.
I think the only time I've heard Oxenfree, isn't there like a detergent, like that you wash your clothes with called Oxenfree?
I believe there may be a detergent that's no relation to me.
Are you thinking of OxyClean?
Yeah, of course.
yes.
Yeah. So here you should market it and call it and trademark it Ali Oxenclean.
Brilliant.
I like it.
I think I will stick to history. Thank you. But I appreciate the marketing slogan. You definitely have a marketer's eye. But no, I think Professor History is a better job for me than Cleaner.
Let's talk about that. I've always been interested in history. It's my favorite subject in school. That and well, I have my master's in Michigan studies and bachelor's in Peninsula studies. But I love talking about history. What made you want to go down the path of teaching history?
Well, I don't actually teach very often anymore. I mostly do research. But my primary interest, of course, is in the St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick and the traditions that are associated. So I would suggest that when I was a child, I actually met someone who claimed to be a direct descendant of St. Patrick. And of course, I made it my personal mission to prove that they were lying because, well, I don't like people who make things up like that. You know, honesty is the most important thing to me in the entire world. And so I made it my mission to learn all about St. Patrick and the history thereof and prove that he was a dirty liar.
St. Patrick was a dirty liar?
No. St. Patrick was a delightful fellow, did lots of many delightful things that I'm sure I'd love to discuss in detail some other time.
So my very next question is it factually true that he got rid of all the snakes from the Emerald Isle?
See, that's
Guy
ac-
hates snakes. Snakes are the bane of my existence.
there's actually a few different variations thereof. Some people say snakes, other people say rats. There's a few different
Oh.
varieties of the St. Patrick's story, but traditionally speaking, he was a priest who went through Ireland, went to the people and made their lives better. So he didn't literally play a flute and drive snakes away. That's just part of the mythology. It's like Saint Nicholas didn't really bring presents to everyone. He was just a religious man
Mhm.
who brought good tidings to children. It's the same sort of story. So Saint Patrick was a great man, but not a flute player.
Okay. All right. I'm learning a lot today, and I
Well,
really like that.
is there some correlation, as you say, play the flute, like the Pied Piper story? Is that
Oh.
reminiscent of
Th-
St.
that-
Patrick?
That story does come. There's a lot of direct similarity between that story and the St. Patrick story. There may be some overlap. You know, obviously that is a fairy tale that, at a certain point in time, when all tradition of stories mix together, they become combined. So I've heard different variations, depending on the source.
All right,
All
that's
right.
fascinating.
Mhm.
Now, Miss Marcy, is that which one do you prefer, Marcy or
That's
Marcine?
fine. That's fine.
Okay. Tell me about your eatorium. Where's it located, and what type of food do you have?
Well, it's in Kego Harbor on Orchard Lake Road, and we have lots of traditional Irish foods: corned beef and cabbage, boxties, Irish kilcannon, which is mashed potatoes with cabbage and
Did you just say
bacon.
patats?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I prefer to call.
Okay.
Bangers and mash.
hmm Very
No,
English.
That's my favorite.
But so things like that. But then we have special for St. Patrick's Day. Like for dessert, you could get Lucky Charms with extra charms or all charms.
When I was 6, I would pick out the wheat stuff and just eat the
You
marshmallows.
wouldn't if you come. You wouldn't have to pick it out. You could get all
Ooh.
charms.
Do they charge extra for that?
Maybe a little bit of an arbitrage,
But not for me.
but not for you, Fizz.
All right.
And,
Just to be clear, they don't actually eat big piles of marshmallows in Ireland. They mostly eat potatoes. I think that's another American thing. They put a leprechaun on something and suddenly it's Irish.
Mhm.
But it's really had nothing to do with Ireland whatsoever.
Well, you're chasing the rainbow, or is that Skittles?
I think that is Skittles. Yeah,
Chasing the dragon is heroin, right?
that I think is also true. Yes.
No,
Chasing the-
rainbow.
Chasing the pot of gold.
Right.
I think Skittles is tasting the
Tasting
the
rainbow.
rainbow.
Tasting the rainbow.
Chasing the dragon is heroin.
Got it. Okay.
I think. I don't know.
But now through St. Patrick's Day, all of our food is dyed green.
Oh, okay.
So, come and get green food.
When I was a kid, I believe it was pre-kindergarten or kindergarten, our teacher read Green Eggs and Ham to us by
Mm.
the Seuss and made actual green eggs and ham. And
I
was,
remember that happening to me in
Y-
elementary school as well.
it was either that or maybe my mother and maybe your mother too might have done that as a trick. I don't know. It was either school or our mothers. I don't
The
know.
only green food, other than green vegetables, the only green dyed food I'll eat are green M&Ms.
Oh yeah.
But
She's
there's something.
kind of sexy, like on the commercial.
Oh,
she's
yes.
the sexy one.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
She's got the
sexy one.
eyelashes and
Then
the
the
legs.
white
Yes.
boots, yeah.
It feeds into the misnomer that the green ones are like an aphrodisiac.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, I can taste green dye. I can't drink green
Mm.
beer, and green is also my favorite color. But can't. No,
But you could request it to be not dyed.
not dye.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do you have just like celery or lettuce or real green food,
Right.
not
Oh, I can-
covered in
yes.
food coloring?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
But all the, non-naturally green food, we will dye it green for
Right.
now through St. Patrick's Day.
Yes. Have you had any poor color combinations once you've added the green dye, like something that came out not such a good,
Yeah, like brown and green. Mix those
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I mean, it's about what you might,
like
What you
if
might
you dye
think.
corned beef, I mean that's kind of like a purpley brown,
yeah,
and then
looks real weird.
yeah, that would come out very strange.
Orange dyed, carrots dyed green,
Mm,
looking pretty dingy.
Did you know that carrots used to be all purple?
no,
And then about 120 years ago, they bred them to be orange. That's a fact.
did it change the keratin level? I mean, it had to have changed the keratin levels.
I have no. I don't.
That is fascinating.
know, but that is
I
true.
know wild carrots tend to be
Yeah,
purple.
yeah.
So
They all used
I
to
thought I
until
did not know that.
Yeah.
Me
Uh,
neither.
That's
the
pretty
the more
fascinating.
you know.
The carrot is a direct relative of the turnip, and they were merely able to pick out the particular orange ones and slowly change them over time to make them into orange carrots.
That's
They
fantastic.
consider they were more appealing for, I suppose, American public,
masses.
and so they decided, hey, orange, let's go with that.
Yes. Well, I know they
Okay.
do dye quite a bit of food. Like if you ate farm fish, for example, it is not a pretty color. It's a gray. It's yeah.
so Professor Ali Oxenfree, um,
Oliver, that's Oliver, sir, please.
Professor Ali Oxenclean. I'm sorry.
Oliver
Oxen
I'll get it
Oxenfree.
right one of these days. I'll get it right. Tell me about extracurricular things in your life. Stuff outside of teaching. Are you a family man? Let's talk about your personal life.
Oh, well, I'd be more than happy to. So I have a family. They exist. I
Okay.
visit them from time to time after I am not working.
Okay.
There is a child involved, and also a wife.
Okay.
And they exist.
It exists.
The whole thing, the whole family. They exist.
What's
they are real.
what's their names?
They have names, of course. There's my wife, Nancy,
Okay.
beautiful Nancy, and
Nancy.
my child, also Nancy.
Oh, is the child male or female?
Female. We decided
Nancy Jr.
No. Also Nancy.
Oh, also Nancy.
We decided that
Or
was
Nancy too. Or just also Nancy.
also Nancy. Please, it's very important to me that you get our names right.
I'm trying.
Nancy and also Nancy.
Yes,
What do
precisely.
you guys like to do for fun around the city?
We do many fun city things. We go bicycling. Yes, we love bicycling through the city. It is our favorite city-based activity.
Up and down the Riverwalk, up the DeQuinder Cut, around Belle Isle. I'm sure all of those places.
Those are places I have bicycled many times.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
How do you find it on Michigan Avenue with the cobbled?
It bumpy, of
It's
course.
bumpy,
yes,
yes.
very bumpy.
Which is where Corktown is.
Yeah, that's right. They do have cobblestone there. So, Professor, how do you balance work and life?
With a scale, of course. I
Ah.
put work on one side and life on the other, and then I balance them. That seems the obvious way to do it. Yes.
Okay. Now, Miss McMurphy, I'm going to ask you the same thing. What do you like to do for fun? Talk about your personal life a little bit. You mentioned earlier that you're going to be a grandmother. I don't know if it's for the first time or not, but you're going to have twins, grandkids.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you like to do for fun?
Well, I definitely like to. I do have two other grandchildren.
Okay.
I do like to spoil them rotten so their mother can get mad at me, but it all balances out in the end. So I like to travel and investigate, and I'm always on the hunt for the next exciting adventure. And I guess this year is for the leprechaun and Irish. A couple years ago, I was looking for a genie in a bottle, and I had come close, but
But Christina Aguilera beat you to it.
she did.
Yeah,
She
okay.
did. So it ended up just being a piece on my mantle, just an empty piece on the mantle.
Wait, so the song goes, "I'm a genie in a bottle. You got to rub me the right way." Does she still come out of it if you rub her the right way?
I think she escaped. So I think somebody may have caught her.
That's
and
where she's been the
freed
last
her.
12 years.
Exactly. And so I think I found the proper bottle, but she's up on stage and somebody freed that genie.
Okay.
So, yes.
Would you like some advice as it relates to finding that leprechaun?
Oh, certainly.
It's commonly unknown that leprechauns are very much big fans of feet. So if you
Really?
butter your feet,
Mm.
rub your feet in butter, and walk in a circle around this throne you've created,
Mm.
and then sit on it, likely the leprechaun will come to lick your feet. And then at that point, you
Really?
can capture them in a bag or a net.
Leprechauns have feet fetishes.
They're very low to the ground, so that's mostly what they see.
I have been told I have very attractive
So yes,
feet.
butter up those feet.
Do they have to be? I have nice feet. They're large feet, but they're nice feet.
They will like that. Yes.
Okay.
Just butter them right up.
Butter them right up in between the toes.
Right in the toes, yes.
Okay.
Some clumps in there, probably good.
Really?
Yes, I would recommend
right.
it.
Now, real butter or I can't believe it's not butter.
Oh, they will know. They
They
can.
will know.
They
So
can
it must-
believe.
I was wondering if they would know if it was margarine,
Margarine.
or real
Th-
butter.
They
Exactly.
very much know if it's not real butter.
So
yes.
it must be real butter.
Yes, yes.
All right.
From a cow or goat.
Oh, I do like goat milk, and maybe we could try that. They're lower to the ground than cows as well.
This is true. Yes.
So maybe that is the preference.
Now, Marcine, same question to you. What are you married, or do you have a family life? And what kind of stuff do you like to do for fun? I assume you live in Oakland County. You said your place is in Kego Harbor.
Yeah, I live in Orchard Lake with my husband and our adult son, or I'm sorry, teenage son and daughter. And the four of us kind of help run the restaurant. I mean, the kids are still in school and everything, but they
They're not-
they spend a lot of time
They're not-
there.
You're not breaking any child labor laws, are you?
No, and no trafficking.
Although, do
none-
those
none of that
apply
either.
for your children? Since they're your children, does that apply?
That's a good question. I hadn't really looked into the legalities of that
Mm.
particular question, but
From my understanding, you can have one child working at a time.
oh boy, okay.
You just
Oh, I
have to
have
you have to
two.
rotate.
Oh, okay.
What are your kids' names?
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Mary
Okay.
and Chadwick.
Did you name him after Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah. No, I didn't know about Chadwick Boseman at the time of my son's birth, but I, am glad to hear there's someone out there
Now-
receiving some.
My
With the
little
same name.
my little also Nancy goes to school with a Chadwick. Might that be your Chadwick?
Oh, it very well could be.
Does he ever mention it also Nancy?
They both have very unique names.
I
We
mean,
wouldn't
there's
hear.
one really easy way we could find out what school do your kids go to.
Mine goes to St. Mary's.
Mine goes to Saint Hebeticus.
Close. What were you gonna say?
I my children do not go to any school that starts with a saint. So I'm a bit of a blasphemous Christian here. So, but that's all right.
Okay.
Yes.
Asked and answered.
Asked and answered. Yes. But I'm hoping the twins. Now I have twins as well, so I'll have two twins of mine, and then twins as my grandchildren. But I didn't get to name my twins this particular name, but I'm hoping my daughter comes up with Flotsam and Jetsam. I think that would be a nice
Oh yeah.
addition to our family.
Yes. Allude to
Yes.
my favorite Disney movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I know. Little Mermaid.
And she should be an Irish mermaid because that red hair and the green fins.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I've always thought of her as an Irish mermaid.
Coincidentally, also Nancy was born a conjoined twin.
Really?
But we named them
Oh.
Nancy and also Nancy. But Nancy died, and so we were just stuck with also Nancy. They managed to surgically remove Nancy from also Nancy, and she's able to live with most of her body intact.
If any of our longtime listeners out there know, we actually had a mermaid named Ariel on our show
Oh,
once
yeah.
before.
Really?
Also played by a person who really does have red hair. It was a
Wow.
very funny episode. We were on the shore of Lake
Lake Michigan.
Michigan. Oh, so you've heard this before?
I'm a longtime listener.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh well, thank you. And one guest of ours was Lake Michigan itself. And then Ariel just kind of swam up to the shore and spoke with us for a while. It was one of the funniest episodes we've
So
done.
Lake Michigan must have just enjoyed Ariel inside of them
Yes.
all the time.
Exactly.
That
Now, I
yes.
did not know that mermaids could live in fresh water. That's
Hey,
news
yeah,
to me.
I think we get into that, and it's best if you suspend disbelief a little bit.
Well, just add some cabbage and that'll have some salt and
Yeah,
Yes.
some sauerkraut. Put
Yes.
it there. We're gonna get to the next segment of our show. It's a game we like to play called "Would You Rather." Now, I'll ask everybody a series of 2 questions. You have to pick which one you would choose and why. And depending on how correct I believe your answer is, I will give you points. Some people might get gold stars. Some people might get the gold rings from Sonic the Hedgehog. Some people might get pairs of purple pants. But I'll do the conversion at the end, and we'll find out who actually wins.
But does purple you're not supposed to wear purple on St. Patrick's Day, though, are you? Is it purple or orange that you're not supposed to wear?
I've never heard
Yeah,
that.
there's like
think
an
it's purple.
anti-color, right?
Is it red? I
It's
think
the
it's
So
red.
opposite. Of,
It's the Wario to the Mario.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, well let's have it be purple because Wario has purple overalls.
Okay.
So
You could simply ask the history professor who knows.
Right.
oh
exactly
yeah,
what
we
he's
could.
Yes.
talking about, perhaps just a thought, or you can talk amongst yourselves. That's fine too. So traditionally speaking, originally the color was red, then it became orange, then lately purple has been the color of choice for the anti-color for the green.
Okay, so which would you prefer we use as the anti?
Purple, obviously, modern times have said purple, so that's what you should stick with.
Okay, so I will award you orange pants. Those are in now
All right.
for St. Patrick's.
those are the
green and orange go well together.
What
I-
we
I like
win?
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
and then I'll do the calculations at the end to see who won. Do the division, add the 1, add the 2.
And I will be checking your math, don't worry.
Okay. And there is one rule: you must refer to me as Quiz Williams during this game, or I will deduct points, and I'm serious about that. I had one person get all the answers right, but he kept referring to me as Fizz, so he actually lost. He would have won, but I couldn't take it anymore.
And you will
I
refer
almost-
to me
So it must-
as
I almost-
Oliver Oxenfree.
When you have your own podcast show and I'm on, I guess on there, then yes, I will refer you.
So it's not just Fizz, it's Fizz Williams.
Yeah,
All right.
but Quiz Williams.
But, it's Quiz
For,
Williams.
when we're playing the game.
Oh, yes. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so Professor Oxenfree.
Yes,
Is
quiz.
Is that okay?
That is
Okay.
fine, quiz. Yes, go ahead.
Would you rather have your memory doubled or have your IQ doubled?
Well, quiz, if I do have to say so myself, I believe my IQ is quite high enough, but my memory capacity increasing would allow me to absorb even more historical knowledge.
Okay. And you would be even more insufferable at that point, right?
I think I would be more delightful, but matter of perspective, I suppose.
Okay. It is perspective. I like that answer. I'll give you some points. I'll give you 3 orange pants. Now, Marcine, would you rather lose half your hair or lose half your hearing?
I guess
This is a tough one.
since I have delightful red hair, I'd almost say I'd rather lose half my hearing.
And then you could get hearing aids.
I could get hearing aids, and
This
I could
doesn't say you
still
can't.
hear. I mean, I've had a friend that was deaf in one ear, and he got by just fine. So I feel like if I lost half
I
of
think I heard
my
a good
hair,
story regarding that. Right?
yeah, yes.
And on the bright side, you'd have to hear this show half as often.
If I lost half of my hair, I just think it'd be really hard to get a wig, with this to match this real color I've got going on
Mm.
here.
You could start a new trend, though.
Yeah, you could. I might know an elderly lady who knows a lot about wigs, and she might be able to help you. So,
Yeah, someone that could give me some pro tips.
some
about
pro tips
some,
and how to properly wear capes as shawls.
I'm interested.
Okay. I like that. I'll give you 30 Sonic rings.
Whoa.
Miss McMurphy. Is it Miss or Mrs.?
It's Mrs.
Mrs. McMurphy.
Yes.
Would you rather have amazing fast texting speed, or be able to read super fast?
Ooh. Well, I can read pretty fast already, but I think my hands would get super tired even if it was fast skills. So I think I would prefer to increase my reading ability so that I could just read more interesting things. Maybe find the keys to finding my leprechaun.
Survey says, oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong answer.
Really?
Yeah, they were looking for whatever the other one was.
Your
Um,
hands would get so tired.
I
Negative-
agree.
Negative 100 stars from
Oh.
Super Mario, but that's okay. We still have
Oh.
time to catch up.
Okay.
Okay, Professor, would you rather be in jail for a year or live in complete isolation in the mountains for a year?
Well, quiz. I must say, if I were to be in isolation for a year, I would have a year's break from listening to your podcast, which I would consider to be a genuine delight.
Okay.
So I must say, I would take isolation.
Okay. Um, I like that. I like that. I'm going to give you 16 purple oranges.
That seems like a very, very high number of purple oranges on St. Patrick's Day, sir.
I know, but it is what it is. Oh, this is a sad one. Do you want to do a sad one or no?
I'll do a sad one.
Okay. Mrs. McMurphy, would you rather lose your best friend or lose all of your friends except for the best friend?
Oh.
See,
Oh, that's so hard.
know.
Well,
we don't have to do that one if you don't want.
Well, I will have to say, family can be in two different categories.
Sure.
So I think, I think I'd stick with my one best friend.
Okay. Survey says that is correct. I'll give you 36 Colt 45 bottles of malt liquor.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we can bring it over to the
The Eatorium.
Eatorium, and maybe
yeah.
you can dye them for me, and I can share them with your.
Yes, but I won't dye I won't dye
You
the
won't
ones
mine,
you're gonna drink.
right?
Yeah,
But I would love to share them with your.
Now,
Oh, thank you.
clientele.
Does the dye have any nutritional value, or is it like
No.
or is it like a net loss? It's like
It's a net
crap.
less, purely aesthetics, which ironically, as we discussed earlier, makes some of the food items look weird and worse. But
Yeah.
so it is. In the name of being festive.
Yes.
Okay, Marcine, would you rather kiss a spider or kiss a mouse?
Oh,
Both pretty disgusting.
I guess a mouse. Is it
Okay.
cuter? I don't know. Some mice are cute.
Not the rats though.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say.
We talked about
Not so much
rats earlier.
rats.
yes.
Like there's the theory that St. Patrick got rid of the
Oh.
rats. Some people
Mm.
say snakes. Really, rats are the snakes of the rodent world. They're just awful. Nobody likes them.
It's because their tails look like snakes.
Oh, so disgusting.
Just to be perfectly clear, rats and snakes have almost nothing in common. Snakes are predatory animals and rats are scavengers, and they have almost no ecological similarities whatsoever, just to be clear.
That is correct, but they're equally hated amongst the general population.
That has nothing to do with what I just said.
I know, but it has to do with what I said.
But wouldn't you think that if you saw a rat scurrying away, not the rat, the tail, and you saw a snake also scurrying away and just the tail, you could mistake one for the other?
If your eyes had been gouged out, yes, I suppose you could.
All right, kiss a mouse. That's good. I will give you 13 bottle caps, not literal bottle caps.
Oh, are we talking about the candy?
the candy. Those are
Okay.
like some of my
Yeah.
favorite.
Thank you, quiz.
We'll do one more round, Professor.
Yes, quiz.
Here's an interesting thing because I'm not sure I believe you about your family. Would you rather have your first child when you are 19 or have your first child when you are 45?
I would certainly say a child at 45 is a wise decision. A child at 19 is a mistake because you're not financially set. You're not squared away. You're going to end up with a child who's going to grow up, at the same time you are. When you're 45, you have plenty of life left. Excellent time to have a child. I would say if you're planning on doing it, then would be the time.
Okay, I actually like that. It's pretty responsible. How old exactly were you when you had your kid?
That is an excellent question. I was an age that exists.
All ages exist.
33.
Okay, that checks out. I like that answer. I'll give you one egg souffle. One egg souffle.
I'm actually allergic to egg.
Okay. Egg substitute souffle. Is that okay?
I will live with it. Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss McMurphy. Would you rather have everything you touch turn to dust,
Ooh.
or the opposite, have everything you touch turn to gold? That's not much of a.
Well, I would just. Yeah, that's.
Do you want
not-
a
that-
different question?
That yes,
Yeah,
that's
that wasn't-
that's a terrible question because if I could never touch my family again, and in either scenario.
This one is.
You could touch my family because they exist.
Do you have pictures?
Of course, I have pictures. I just forgot to bring them with me.
They don't say Shutterstock on them like they're stock photos, do they?
Coincidentally, my family does a lot of a lot of modeling for picture
Or
frames.
Getty Images.
If you many picture frames have pictures of my wife and child in them, coincidentally, it's what they do
So
for a
Nancy
living.
and also
Oh.
Nancy.
Yes, they model for picture frames. Yes, coincidentally.
All right, Miss McMurphy. Would you rather marry someone who is extremely attractive?
Mm.
Like who do you think is the most attractive man like
Hmm.
in the world?
In the world,
Yeah.
Jason Momoa.
No.
For me, without a doubt. Jason
I've
Momoa.
heard more than one woman say he just looks dirty.
Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah.
I think
I don't disagree.
if he cut his hair,
No.
cleaned up a little bit.
No. I've seen him baby-faced, young, extraordinarily attractive, but the dirty.
You like bad boys, don't you?
I like the illusion of a bad boy that is generally very sweet on the
Okay.
inside.
I could,
That has
I
been
could
my
s-
experience over the years.
I could see that appeal. I could
Yes.
see that. All right. So, would you rather marry someone who's extremely attractive or marry someone who is rich?
That is. So the question is, though, at what stage of my life? Like ever? Because if you asked me that now, it would be for the money, 100%. 100%, no questions asked.
Okay, when you were 22.
I would go for the looks 100%. Not I mean that most wholeheartedly. I want good genes to produce beautiful children. I'll figure out the money situation. Now that I am not having any more children, I want money. So, and I can learn to love someone that I can't look at. So,
Like a lot of gold diggers out there.
absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
In fairness, she did tell you she was looking for a leprechaun the moment she got
I
on the
was
show.
Exactly.
I was just going to bring that back around.
Yes.
That could
It
Be
could
it-
turn,
that could be in your
absolutely.
future.
Absolutely.
we're going to keep our fingers crossed for you and our toes crossed and
Maybe I
everything
will,
else crossed.
Maybe I will. He will be so enamored, or she. Actually, to be honest, I don't know if all leprechauns are male or female or
I've never heard
a little bit of both.
We should ask.
Yeah.
If I may
Mr.
weigh in,
Oxenfree.
the leprechauns actually have no genitalia.
Oh.
If you were to take their pants down, you would see it's like a Ken doll. Nothing
so
going on downstairs.
not even asexual, or would it be
They
androgynous?
don't identify as any sort of
So
sexual
they're
orientation.
truly
They're
androgynous.
magical beings. They do not need to procreate. They live forever.
Thank
So
God.
they have no need for genitalia.
Then I would be down for my next husband to be a leprechaun or spouse, not husband, spouse, to just have an endless supply of gold, and I would take care of them every single day of their lives.
Okay. All right. I like that. I will give you I'll give you 3 of those big. I don't know if they still exist anymore. Those 3 big, long Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles that people drive around. Just
I was going in such a wrong direction.
not on this show. Not
Yes,
never.
yes. Oscar Mayer. Oh, I heard one got in an accident though, or something like that. Like they got pulled over and somebody was arrested for their Oscar Mayer mobile. Like I don't know what they were doing, but
Whatever you do, don't let the leprechauns see the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. They might get a little upset.
maybe.
Why is that?
Envy.
Oh, penis envy.
Again, Ken doll down there.
Oh, okay.
But it frees them. It frees them from.
All right. Our very
Yeah.
last question to Miss Marcine O'Malley. Would you rather spend every minute for the rest of your life indoors or spend every minute of the rest of your life outdoors? It's not a very good question. Would you like a new one?
I mean, I guess I would be leaning more towards outdoors because I could perhaps still build a shanty or something to protect me from the elements, or is that not?
It doesn't say, so it's up. There's no caveats. It's up to you.
That's what I'd say. Outdoors, so I could still experience, you know, nature and sunshine and
Well,
snowfall.
I believe just humans in general have lived outdoors probably longer than we've lived indoors.
True that.
So just in general, and we've
Yeah,
survived.
that's
So
very true.
caves, trees.
Find a cave, build a shanty. Like you said, I could find shelter, as it were, living in the out every minute.
Are there many crossover skills between restaurateur and outdoor survivalist that I'm not aware of? Real overlap there.
I don't know. I mean, we can make a show on it on AMC.
I expect it would be a very short show.
I'd
Yeah.
have to educate myself to be
Edumacate?
fair. Educate myself to be fair about the survival. But
Okay, well, that's a pretty good answer. I will give you 3 copies of used Blues Travelers CDs. So
is it 3 of the same?
3 of the
CD?
same
Okay.
with Runaround and
Yeah.
the only
Got the cat on the
Yep.
face.
I
Or the
think
cat
it's
face on the
somewhere in
cover.
this room over there where those CDs are. All right, now I must calculate who won. Carry the 1, divide by 6,
How exactly
convert mushrooms
do
to
you
stars.
convert used Blues Traveler CDs to purple oranges and
That's a story for another time, my dear.
He does it the same way he does everything,
What?
very poorly.
And don't forget, he has Oliver OxyClean as backup mouth.
Professor Oliver Oxenfree, PhD, MD, OBE.
Have you been keeping track as you said you were?
Of course, I won handily.
Oh,
you're a medical doctor as well, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh boy!
Remind me what does OBE stand for?
Office
Order of the British Empire.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot going on there.
So our winner is Miss Beatrice McMurphy.
Garbage.
Yay.
Pure garbage.
You win this empty water bottle when I'm finished with it.
I'm entitled to that
Thank
water
you.
bottle, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we're getting to the end of our show. It's been a lot of fun talking with you guys. Hopefully next year we'll be able to, for St. Patrick's Day, maybe go down to Corktown and I'll contact you guys and see if you want to do a live on the street episode or at a parade. I
Fantastic.
think that might be fun, weather permitting, if the coronavirus is gone.
Yeah.
That was the main reason I wanted to be indoors
Indoors.
today.
Yes.
The last segment of our show, we like to have our guests talk about any types of plugs, anything they're selling, any creative endeavors they have. I know Marcine, of course, would like to plug her restaurant. So yeah, plug your restaurant. Once again, tell us where it is.
Yes, in Keego Harbor on Orchard Lake Road. And from what I understand, Lenten restrictions are
And if
lifted for the day for St. Patrick's Day. Is that
I
correct?
did
I've
not
never
know.
heard that.
So,
I'm not Catholic.
If
I
you, would like to
I
come
am,
on
and I did
down.
not know that.
We'll be having live music all day on St. Patrick's Day, including Cash O'Reilly and the Downright Daddies.
Is that for
and-
real?
That is for real.
Oh my gosh.
That's fantastic.
And we will also be having a special guest to hang out for the day from the WWE. Hornswoggle. He's the leprechaun who lives under the ring. He's gonna be there.
He's a leprechaun?
Well,
Do you
I
think
can't
you could-
Oh my
you could-
goodness! I didn't even think about that.
You could
this whole
arrange
time.
a
a meeting.
a meet cute and yes.
Yeah, we have to make that happen.
Yes.
Don't forget to butter your feet.
I won't, and I'll wear special sandals.
The only thing is that if are you gonna keep capture him and keep him forever,
no.
because then he needs to go back under the ring at WWE.
Oh
because
no,
that's where he lives.
he is.
He's a WWE star.
Once I
so-
get my 3 wishes, if he is not completely enamored with my buttered feet, then
Gotcha.
he
Like
is
if he wants
free.
to say you're open to that, but if he wants to go back to the WWE,
Yes.
you would understand.
we
Okay.
happily allow him to do so.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't think about this
My
this whole
goodness.
time.
That's okay.
You just made my year.
Okay. Beatrice, do you have anything you'd like to plug today?
Well, I would say go down to the Eatorium
Yeah.
and
It sounds like they got a good menu.
and maybe have my back be my wingman and wingwoman and pump me up so that maybe I don't have to trap him. He will
Yeah.
just
Be there.
Be there, absolutely. And of course, it is 2020. Please vote this year. It is
I
a
voted in the primary today.
so did I as well. So and make an educated vote in all of your ballots.
4 more years of Trump.
In all of your
I'm just-
make an educated vote is all I have to say on no matter what you do, make sure it's
Don't forget, to longtime listeners, I'm running for the Peninsula Party. So we have our convention in May. It's just me and Mike Tyson, naturally. And we're gonna have one more debate. Hopefully this time he doesn't threaten to eat my children or bite my ear off. I told him he's got to be a little more civil. But yeah, one of us will be going up against Trump and Biden, it looks like. So
I would make an American politics joke, but well, we've really screwed it up too. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, and Professor, do you have anything you'd like to plug today?
Well, I was originally, when I was told I was going to have to do a plug, I was going to plug my history courses at the Wayne State University. But then, having actually listened to your show for once, I realized the type of people who listen to the show are not the sort of people who I would like to enroll in my classes.
Oh.
So please, if you are
That's kind
listening,
of bogue.
if you are listening today, please do not enroll in Wayne State University's history courses. You are not the sort of person I would like to meet.
There's an anti-plug.
Now,
Yeah.
if you are being held against your will and being forced to listen, this is some form of torture. You have my sympathies. I hope you survive. That is all.
Okay, no other plugs, anyone? No? Okay. I personally don't have anything to plug. Producer Andrew is in the process of creating a new limited series podcast about the history of comedy. And there'll be 4 episodes. One will be covering TV, 1 film, 1 will be stand-up, and then 1 episode will be both sketch and improv. So for our listeners out there, he might be contacting you if you are an expert in one of those or more of those areas. That might be coming later on this month or maybe sometime in April.
Fair warning to
Very
any
interesting.
historians, please don't go on those podcasts. It's not worth the $250 and the pizza.
so you wouldn't want to be a part of any club that would have you?
Apparently not.
Also, I believe 2 or 3 weeks from now, producer Andrew and his brother-in-law Ray are going to have their next Netflix review show. They're going to be covering Ozark Season 3, Hunters on Amazon,
Very excited.
and Ragnarok, which is a show on
Netflix as
Netflix.
well. Mhm.
And we will have 2 special guests. So we'll have a full room again. I love doing that show. It's a good time to hang out with everybody. And that's it. We hope you enjoyed the very first St. Patrick's Day episode from Pristine Peninsula. And I'm just going to play this out. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye and good luck.
Farewell.